Morning.
Good morning.
Another beautiful day. Happy Monday, everyone.
Yeah.
See here. Prices gapped up here in the United States and in Europe. Uh, see prices falling off a little bit. We're at like about 410 right now. Weather over the weekend warmed up, especially on the GFS. GFS, we're in. It was like that cold spell that came through on the weekend, and we're coming on the last tail end of it. So we'll be seeing above normal temperatures starting after the 15th, and then we go back into another hump of heating degree days. So we'll have colder than normal, like weighted temperatures on the 18th through the 20th, and then it's all warmer than average after that, going from the 21st on out on the GFS ensemble. There was like a hump of heating degree days demand that was stayed below the 30-year average going through like the 24th and the 25th, and that thing has been squashed down from like 19 down to like 15, 17 respectively. So things are starting to warm up uh literally in the temperature, scheme of things, but some people in the market are realizing now, that things are warming up on the Russia scheme of things. That's a metaphor for that one. One's literal, the other is a metaphor, and that's what they got going. That's kind of what some people have predicted as to why temperatures or the prices are doing what they're doing right now.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask, are you surprised that it gapped up based on what you said about the weather?
I am surprised that it gapped up. Yes, totally. I remember we talked about that during the live stream on Friday. I was expecting that if prices because back then it was like 390 on prices, and I was like, yeah, if prices are 390 to $4, and like the temperature stays like the forecast is the same or warm up, I would expect prices to move down on Monday, and that was my expectation completely. And then it gapped up 15 cents. End of the day on $4, and then it was a gap up, and when the markets opened in out in Asia last night, what would be like yesterday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, uh, and it's something that I was. It doesn't make sense. Markets don't always have to make sense, and they usually don't, to be completely frank. But that's just what it is, and some people kind of just get caught by surprise by things. That then can make the market move, especially during low volume. So like low volume, what's going on overnight, and evidently some people were surprised that what there is about to possibly really likely to be a war between Russia and Belarus and Ukraine, because Belarus has said like whatever Russia does, they're going to do. Um, whether that's just all talk or who knows, but I think people take it seriously because there's a sizable number of troops, Russian troops in Belarus right now when they are doing joint military exercises right now, which could be seen as like a training event for their two armies to work together to like invade into Western Ukraine. Uh and evidently this is news to some people, but like anyone who's been watching our live streams, we've been talking about this since day one because we've been aware of this for months now. We say this like every live stream, do your own research. Like, do your own research. You don't want to be the person who's like, oh, what? This is going like what? Like this is what's happening? Oh God. Um, on a like technical slash fundamental note, open interest is like in the gutter right now. We're down to 76,841. It's my last like indicator for open interest for the month. Like people have basically like lost interest in this
Oh,
contract.
nice,
Like it
nice.
is just like normally don't see levels this low until it's like almost the last week of trading. And I understand that February is a real short month for trading, Reality is, though, we still got like 10 days of trading, like 10 days until 10 calendar days. I should like word that carefully. We got 10 calendar days, including today, until like for this to still trade. Um, so it's like a week and a half still. Uh, so that's one thing that is really indicative of like there's just not as much interest in the contract anymore. Like because that's what open interest literally means. Like how many contracts are out there and available, and people just closed them out. Um, so just less out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I guess
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like just, what I mean? Like I don't know how else to explain it. You know what I mean? How they're just like, don't use a word in the definition of
yeah,
a word. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and so I'm just like, it's just a literal phrase, like term phrase is what it is.
How
And
about that?
so,
How about this? There are less contracts floating around.
right there
They're
you go.
they're closing out contracts.
Right? Yeah, exactly. There you go.
That's what. Yeah, that's open. That's open interest. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's just a literal term. Yeah. Uh, and so I am like I'm surprised by that, by the price having moved up, like, for a gap up, waiting for volume to pick up right now, we're at, like, 25,000 for the day. Uh, I'm interested to see what happens when volume picks up because right now it's just been, like, floating around this, like, 409, like, 405 to 409 range right now for about an hour as volume's been picking up. So
Yeah, I got a crazy thought.
uh-huh.
Okay, so most in my mind, most big volume traders, they're probably going to have a Bloomberg terminal or something equivalent. If you don't know what a Bloomberg terminal is, go look it up. But it's a really expensive data device, basically, and you get like instant data, like all kinds of data, everything. And so people with that are probably already they're people already in the know about the global the geopolitical environment, and I guess based on that, I think price will come down because forecasts are warmer. We're coming off this cold hump, um, or forecasts are warmer over the weekend, and we're coming off of the cold hump. When we talk about cold humps, we're talking about demand. In case
Yes.
that wasn't clear, like we're talking about demand. So it's a supply
Mhm.
demand thing, or demand supply, whatever, and it's a scarce resource. That's all it is. So if there's more demand, then price goes up. But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it's just simple. But so that's why, or that's what I think. I think price will come down on volume. I don't know how
I agree.
far, but I don't know. I don't know that $4 will be like a significant anymore, or as significant as it has been in the past. I think
Yeah.
that 390 number was really powerful.
Mhm.
Oh, and then I wanted to kind of recap. So these are daily candles. Let's go back to let's do 15-minute candles behind me. Let's look at
Uh-huh.
Friday. So after our stream on Friday, right there. This is Friday. These between these dotted lines here. And so price came down. It sat there at I don't know, 385 or 388 ish, somewhere in there. Just sat there forever on low volume. You can see the candles down here, and then we saw this come up, this candle here, and like, oh, they're trying to push price up, because it's been sitting there at I guess support 388 for a long time, and then it jumped way over $4. It was like 402, and I was like, what's going on? And I looked over. I have some other charts, just kind of like they're just small charts, so I can just have an eye on it. And one of them is oil, and the other one is the S&P 500, and they're both doing crazy things, and so that's what explained this price action. Um, was those things, and I think, but that was enough to incite a riot in the bulls. They got their Gatorade and their oranges all stocked away, and they started buying a lot. And but that turned the daily candle green on Friday.
Mhm.
Let's look at this, and I think that was one kind of technical indicator that helped this gap up. Just spitballing here. We've had this discussion, but I was just talking about it,
Mhm.
and yeah. So That's what happened. We've talked about this before, but there are. I think the world is kind of phasing away from this, but there are oil linked gas contracts,
Hmm.
and so oil. If oil does some crazy sudden move, I'm by sudden I mean like it went up $2 in on a 15-minute candle. That's really significant. A huge green candle, but based on that kind of stuff, whenever oil does crazy things, then a lot of times you'll see some movement in natural gas also, just
Yes.
because the world has not moved away from oil linked gas contracts completely. Then let's see. Also, something that came up in the GFS 34 day over the weekend was a possible cold spike, some above average cold on
Yeah.
March 3rd, like the first week of March. So that's something to keep an eye on as we get closer to that date. It could develop into something more, could develop into something less. Today we have the ECMWF 45 day, which is just the European model long range that's coming out today. So if we see it on there too, I think that might make prices move up, but I don't think by a lot. Like that's I don't from my observations, traders don't really pay attention to things that far out on the horizon.
Yep.
Solidly, it has to be like within like the 7 day range for prices to really start reacting to something like that.
Yep. For it to take, yeah, as I would put it, for the market to take it serious, yeah, it's got to be in the 10 days is like out there.
Yeah,
That's like the like most extreme where it will look at it and think about it. Like, but yeah, like a week and that hump that's out there on the 34-day for the third, like of March, that because the normal heating degree days demand is so low, the curve is so steep. By then, like above average we're talking like 21. We're talking 21 heating degree days here for the peak on that thing.
yeah,
Uh, and it's like a 2 to 3 day hump that's way out there. So like a normal that or colder than normal weather at that point in time is warmer than normal weather today. Because the 30-year average today is above 22 heating degree days. And down there, it's like 18.
yeah. So also there are a lot of variables in the weather, like a ton of variables. So
Yeah.
that that little that little cold event could turn out to be nothing. It could also turn out to be more. Like there are just so many variables that'll take place between now and then. It's the weather. They're predicting the future. It's hard. Let's see. Yeah, the first when I look up news, the first thing is an article with the headline: "Gas prices climb after U.S. warns Russia could invade Ukraine." But
Yeah.
we've been talking about that. Like we've known about it since like December, and we've been talking about it
Yeah.
since I think our first stream, like you said.
Hmm. It's a surprise to some people.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, what? I guess, I don't know who. Because if someone just traded purely technicals, then it wouldn't be a surprise because they wouldn't even be paying attention to it.
Hmm.
And so if someone was looking at fundamentals, then Russia would be in their scope of observation because Russia is the largest exporter of natural gas in the world. So I mean? Like they'd be paying attention to like stuff that's going. Like I would think, maybe not. Maybe they don't really pay attention. Maybe they think they do and they don't. They just got caught with their pants down. As the old saying goes. I have no idea. Like they're shocked by it and they think it's like happening right now.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But I agree with your assessment about pricing with weather warming up. Uh, I think we're gonna see $4 when volume comes on. I'd be really surprised if we saw 420. You know, if it went in the other direction, we went and attacked 425. That totally surprised me. Uh, I see prices going down more to retest $4 and lower. But I'm not a day trader. I could be totally wrong, but
Yeah,
that's what I think because the weather's getting so warm. Uh, the weather is. Well, the market does trade, really short-term weather. There's another cold hump coming in this next weekend. Again, they're always on the weekend, man.
I know,
We're
always on the
getting
weekend.
this weekend action, so you can't like go out on a walk in the park, on your Saturday
Yeah,
because it's like freezing cold. So yeah, going in on the 18th through the 19th and 20th. Uh, there's like colder than normal average weather coming up, so it's like a 3-day Baja Blast that's coming through. Just another cup of, it's like a medium Baja Blast. Uh, Peaks out at about 26 heating degree days, is what the forecast is for. So people, who trade super short term could be looking at that because the reality is it's like a week out, like we talked about, and then all that super warm weather is on the back end of that. Uh,
yeah,
So, they might not be looking at all those things yet, which is like, definitely a possibility.
yeah. Starting on the 20th, 21st, in between there, demand will fall off a cliff, and we're seeing well warmer than average weather for a while after that.
Like way warmer. Like right now, the forecast for the 23rd of February is barely above 12 heating degree days. And the norm, the 30-year average for that day is a little over 20. It's like 20 and a quarter, 20 and a half. So, like balmy. It may not be that warm, where I live or, where some people live, but where most of the population is going to be living. According to the forecast right now, it's going to be a tropical heat wave, like the song
Yeah.
says.
What song is that?
We're having a heat wave, a tropical heat wave. We're having a heat wave.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
snaps. Never heard it.
Uh,
Is that like a
yep.
lounge song?
Uh, if you ever, have you ever go watch the movie Grumpy Old Men?
Oh God, I've seen that. But just
That's the song for the introduction to that movie.
tropical heat wave song.
Yep. And then they're like, it's freezing cold.
Oh,
It's a joke.
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I didn't write the song, nor did I originally sing it, which is why one, as anyone could tell from me trying to sing there, that I am not a singer of any kind whatsoever. Don't have a beat, and I did not write any of the song. I did not write that song, or any song that for that matter. It's not a single song in the universe that I ever wrote.
I've never written one either. Yeah, I can only assume that European prices are up. They gapped up for the same reason. For the same, I mean, like the geopolitical events,
Yeah.
which that makes sense.
Yes, that totally makes sense for them because they're reliant on Russia gas, though they're propagandists who like try to say otherwise, but they're reliant on Russian gas.
Completely, yes.
Like like if they didn't like get gas from Russia and it was like the beginning of winter, they'd be so um F-bombed that it's like not even funny. They don't even have like the term like they don't have enough like liquid natural gas like receiving terminals like capacity to compensate for it, contrary to what some of the European politicians have been saying recently. They don't have the capacity for it.
Yeah, that's why they're so reliant on Russian gas because Russia has all
Yep.
those pipelines going in
Hmm.
that they can
Yep.
actually provide the volume. Yeah, they need 10 gasification terminals, 10 more to make a difference. What did
Yeah.
we read? They
I
have like two, one.
Yeah, it's like it's Like Germany doesn't have any. Like that's
Right.
the thing. Like this is how like inadequate their infrastructure is over there in Western Europe. Germany, the largest consumer of natural gas in Europe, has 0 LNG terminals, like to receive LNG cargoes and like it not and whose fault is that? Western Europe's like, each individual country. Like again, like we've talked about before, they, talk about doing all sorts of things to, for lack of a better term, revolutionize their energy mix and they're not doing it. They have not been doing it at all. Like their infrastructure over there is, in my opinion, laughable. Like it's pretty laughable. Like when you just like look at stuff, you're just like, what? You don't even have like a backup plan for this? Like they don't. They have 0 backup plan. Like there's 0. Oh, I'm sorry. The backup plan is like burn like tires.
Yeah.
Like like they literally burn stuff that's like dirtier than coal. They've been doing that this winter. Like they've been increasing their coal burning, and then there's like a lower grade coal, which I'm not a coal trader, so I don't know all the different grades of coal, but there's something that's like a lower grade than coal that can be burned, and it's even dirtier than coal, and they've been burning that for energy because of their situation, which is, total opposite of what they say that they are like working towards, but the proof's in the pudding. So that's their situation over there.
Yeah, they've been decarbonizing without, um, like you said, no backup plan. Like there's no base load. There's no base load. That's where, I mean, like the carbon emitting stuff comes in my mind. With you, for doing what they're doing with, um, green energy and everything, like it's not, it's intermittent. That's the biggest problem with it, right? Is that it's intermittent, it's unreliable. So you need that base load, and the base load comes from carbon emitting sources, and they've just been like getting rid of that without replacing it with other baseload things. And
Well, they did that with the stroke of a pen the other week. You set it all up. You just did the perfect setup there. I don't know if you intended that or not, but
no, I didn't. I got something weird happen on my computer. Okay, no, I didn't.
oh, you didn't?
No,
Well, that's
I
why you
didn't
just
mean
like,
it. Go ahead.
oh, you didn't mean it? Do you know what you set up like perfectly?
Hmm.
Oh, that's why nuclear and natural gas are not green.
Yeah.
So now you have this like super reliable green base load.
Yeah. just just changing the rules. They're just changing
Yep,
the
you just move that
rules.
goalpost, but just move that goalpost.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a book
And like
about that, man. Like the bureaucrats and aristocrats changing the rules to suit their needs. What was that? What was that book called? No, I know what it was called.
like we've said before, anyone who's been paying attention to the actual like what's actually going on and not politician speeches is not surprised by this, like at all. Like, oh, what? They've been saying one thing but doing 0 about it for 20 years? I wonder what's gonna happen. Because they're not gonna just like sit there and be like, oh yeah, we're gonna not have our you know what? Everyone's pipes are gonna freeze this winter because we have no energy.
Got to
Like
go
they're not gonna
green.
do that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but then yeah, like they're not gonna do that. So instead, they're going to be like, "Oh, wow, the source of energy that we did invest in, we're now going to just call that green energy because
Yeah.
that's what we've been investing in for 20 years."
I think, yeah, France. I think France has like 5 more nuclear energy plants, like being like coming on, or like in the works.
Oh, it was like 11 or something last I
Yeah.
read.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bunch. Like, and that's why nuclear is green. And why is natural gas green over there? Because Germany, the two largest economies in Western Europe, Germany and France, like those are the two main sources of energy for those two countries. Nuclear for France and natural gas for Germany. There's like a laughable New York Times article titled like that Germany's like trying to not be reliant on German natural gas. I didn't even read it. I was like, oh, this person's obviously not actually researched any of this and has not been paying attention to this for years. They didn't build Nord Stream 2 because they're, quote, trying to not be reliant on Russian natural gas. The thing costs over $10 billion. They could have built like 10 to $12 billion in windmills, but they
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's laughable. Like, literally, this is where you got to do your own research. Like, this is like a quote unquote credible news source, and they like that's laugh like it's laughable. I like read the headline, I just laughed. I'm like, what? Okay, that's a joke. Like, that's why natural gas is now green, so that they can just import massive amounts of it predominantly from Russia, and say that they're doing a good thing. Like that's just someone trying to like I don't know, help out their favorite politician over there. I guess I don't know. Like it's just like or a Kool-Aid drinker.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
And the whole reason why we bring all this up is because, like, we always talk about, like, you gotta do your own research. Because if you just believe that kinda nonsense, then, like, your perception of what the gas market's gonna do is gonna be over any, like, trading season. Because there's, like, seasons to trading, we talk about that there's injection season. I mean, they literally call it a season. Injection season, withdrawal season, injection season, withdrawal season. Like, every season, it's different, and you gotta, like, pay attention to these things, and if you're, like, believing some, like, political, like, grandstanding dribble, then you're gonna be, like, totally blindsided when it's like, "What? Oh my goodness, what? Why is this happening?" Like, if someone was, like had been short, like, gas last year, over the summer and stuff, they would've, like, totally had their account, like, obliterated if they were believing all the, "Oh, man, we're not gonna be using gas, we got all these other things that we're gonna use," and then they were thinking gas prices are gonna go down because demand for gas is gonna go down, and it hasn't. So again, like people got to do their research because if the narrative was true, then there wouldn't be all this demand for gas over there. They'd have all this other infrastructure, and they wouldn't be needing this gas, and they wouldn't be needing liquid natural gas imports from other sources as well. They wouldn't need it, but they do because like the popular narrative for what's going on over there is completely inaccurate.
Yeah, completely agree. We talk about this stuff all the time. Yep. Um. Here's a funny thing. Yeah, I guess Permian gas production is at an all-time high. This
No
is this
way.
is so. I've just looked up freeze offs because
Uh-huh.
I've been looking for this for news on it for
Hmm.
a while now, and I guess this article came out 4 days ago, and it slipped under the radar until now, I guess. But anyway, yeah, Permian gas production is at an all. It's at 14.1 billion cubic feet a day. Um, freeze offs are like non-existent there now, and well, not entirely is what it's saying, but they're rebounding very quickly.
Yeah, they're like marginal.
Yeah,
I mean, they like got some diesel generators out there and some like space heaters,
yeah.
like
But I
warming
mean,
them up and
yeah,
stuff.
basically blankets on the things, and yeah, the things that freeze off.
The heaters I'm talking about. They sound like a jet engine, and
Oh, like those. They're like the round ones.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and they
Like
shoot
a
out a
barrel on
flame
its size.
basically. Yeah,
Yep.
the reason
Mhm.
it's so long is so the flame isn't actually coming out of the end.
Yes, exactly.
Yep, I know what you're talking about.
It's literally like a blowtorch for the Jolly Green Giant.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They got some of
And
those
like
out
you s
there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking at. Yeah, it's literally yeah. It's like it's at an all-time high. Just there's a great little chart here. I'll post it later, but yeah, yeah. Okay, that's
Yeah,
news.
Uh-huh, yeah. The EIA, they had their production numbers that came out, like, because they come out with for people who don't know, they bring those out also when, like, they do inventory releases on Thursdays. Later on, they release the production numbers so you can see like what dry production was, and it's robust.
Yeah, if you go in like you just Google EIA natural gas weekly update, it comes out
Hmm.
after the inventory report um, on Thursdays. Dry production was down overall, actually significantly. Let's see for the reporting week, which was like the first full week of February. Production was down to 90.5 billion cubic feet a day from the week prior, 93.8.
Hmm. Oh yeah, when I said robust, yeah, I should have clarified that was relative to the freeze offs that occurred last year, last February.
Yeah. So it's
people were expecting like 85 or lower.
yeah, 85 total. Yeah, 85 billion cubic feet a day total dry production. We look at dry
Mhm.
production because that's the gas that we're trading. Um,
Yeah.
they have different they have marketed production, different things on there, but dry production is it's dry gas, so it doesn't include any of the liquids, which are something that they take out and they make propane with, stuff like that. The other fuels,
Mhm.
but not it's not like natural gas that we're talking about
Mhm.
trading. So we just look at dry production. here's a, here's here's a headline: Bulls feeling the love as colder Euro model gives natural gas futures boost to open week. But I don't know what they're talking about. I never do.
Unless they're
Because
just talking about the European contract. That's another thing, yeah, for people like look at an article and then see what contract are they talking about? Are they talking about like the markets in Asia? Are they talking about the European market? Are they talking about the Henry Hub?
I think they're talking about the ECMWF. It's a Euro colder Euro model. That's what they're talking about. I didn't observe that at all in the weather forecast that we have access to.
Yeah, I was gonna say all the ECMWFs I've seen, it's held steady. It's been pretty much the same as it's always been for like a week, for about a week. There's been a lot less this year. There's been a lot less changing in the ECMWF for the most part, not exclusively, but for the most part compared to the GFS.
Yeah, it has changed some, but yeah, I agree. Like it pretty much holds steady. The GFS a few times has really flip flopped a lot this year, which I mean it's overall it's been more accurate, but yeah, the flip flopping is kind of irritating.
Yeah, flip flopping is only nice with pancakes.
Yeah, yeah. Price is just kind of sitting here. It's incredibly low volume.
Yeah, we're at 31,000. Let's see here. Market opens in a minute and 2 seconds. For
Oh,
those who are, keep close tabs. Um, maybe things will, change with that, with the market opening. Possible.
yeah. Let's see what NGJ 22.
Oh, it's at 406.5 right now. So there's like a two and a
Yeah.
half cent difference. That's the spread for the Widowmaker. For those of you out there who like to, you know, go really risky.
Yeah, it's called the Widowmaker for a reason.
Yeah. Uh,
Let's see. I'm looking at the open
May
interest.
May is like 409. It's like 2/10 of a penny different from March.
The open interest on the April contract is climbing. It kind of there's a dip there.
Hmm. I believe it. People are getting more interested in it than March.
Hmm.
Because I mean, it's really high. I'll say it. I'll be that guy. Like 6 weeks from now, April is going to be lower than 406.
Oh, prices are really high. Yeah, no kidding, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
it's
going. I'll let people know that. You heard it here. It was just like many times in the past on live streams where I've been like, where a price has been a certain point, like over $5, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to go way down from there.
yep. That's not
Just keeping it
sustainable.
real. Huh?
Yeah, I said that's not sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just gonna keep it real with y'all. Yeah, it's not sustainable. It's not gonna be that high 6 weeks from now. For those, for those of us who are swing traders, just letting y'all know that. Because in order for that to happen, we'd have to have like 1.1 trillion cubic feet in inventory.
What are we looking at? I haven't checked this number in a while.
Yeah,
Let me
they're
check this
still
number.
looking at like 1.4, 1.5 for end of season.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so we would literally have to burn like 300 billion cubic feet more over what's expected to be burned already. We'd have to burn that much more between now and then in order for like prices to stay this high. So
Weather forecasts are not supporting or predicting that
not
much
even close.
burning. No,
Like not even close.
we'd have to have a couple of those huge cold snaps that we saw a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we'd have to have another polar vortex, like
Yeah.
straight up.
Yep.
We'd have to have like a polar vortex in March, like straight up.
Yep.
That's not an exaggeration.
No, and
Like to
it's
get
not
that
impossible. It's just highly
right. Oh
unlikely.
yeah,
Yeah. At that point, the polar vortex is usually pretty strong, and that cold air is just bottled up.
yeah. Which is yeah, exactly. Like Professor was saying, it's possible, and you can trade. There are people out there who exactly what they trade. They trade what is possible, not what's probable. And you know, everyone has different trading styles. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That's not what I do personally, but you know, to each their own.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's an open market, and people have different trading styles, and I mean, yeah, people can trade however they want, but that's yeah. I mean, in order to make money with my money, I don't trade those possibilities. I trade the likelihoods.
Hmm.
All right, you feel good?
I do. I feel awesome. I hope you're
Good.
all having a great day. I hope you all had a great weekend.